weekly precious metals market update. A lot of nice letters and a lot of concerned letters and a lot of worried about those world letters and worried about American letters and emails. And certainly I can't address all of them, but I will try to address a few that I know a little bit about from being around this industry for 44 years. Let's start with the bond market. Yes, I mean, the CPAs, money managers, clients are worried sick. This 10 to 14 year bull bond market is over. It's over. Interest rates are going to be rising and bonds are going to be getting clobbered, and they're going to get further clobbered because all the new debt that's getting ready to come on, and I'm not talking about just government. I'm talking about municipalities are hurting because all the tax revenues have plummeted. So all of a sudden, all these Chicago, Spokane, Washington, all these cities and states need money. So they need to sell you a bond and have a return on it. But I can tell you from big money and the wealthiest people I deal in, they are out of bonds, nowhere near bonds, going there making 1 or 2% max. And the risk you got for the dollar that's plummeting, and we'll get to that in a minute. So let me say right off the bat, if you've got your money manager has you in stocks, bonds, and cash, I would sell a lot of those bonds and reposition your whole portfolio, including the metals, but get out of all your bonds or lower your exposure to bonds because they are going to be hit and they're going to be in a bear market for some time because interest rates are not going to go down when municipalities and governments are borrowing money and paying back interest. So I can't get any more clear than what you need to do if you're holding bonds. I also want to talk about diversification. My consulting business has never been like it is now, ever. These are people that don't necessarily buy anything from me. They call me for an hour and they get billed by the hour for knowledge. I've talked to families on the thing where you have 4 or 5 screen Zoom. We did a Zoom with a family the other day, and they had 4 different locations. And this is what's going on. People want to know, they're worried. We're going to have a mass transit of wealth. Just look, if you've been in stock since January, you're down 10 or 15%. I mean, you may have one that's up, one that's down 30%, but you're down 10%. What if you were in silver and up 65% and gold up 30%? That's what you'd be looking at. And you need to be in those things for sure. But I'm going to sit here and tell you, diversification right now is you need to allocate more to metals because they've got at least another 2 or 3 year run. When you get Bank of America and Goldman Sachs and all these big institutions saying goes to a minimum of 3,000, do you not know what that means? It's going to a minimum of 3,000. We're at an all-time high right now as I talk to you, 1965, headed for 2,000, maybe this week or next week, who knows? But then it's going to go on to 2,400, 2,500, 3,000. I'm not talking about the distant future either. So yes, you want to get diversified even with the spot at 2,000. You wait to go down $30 or $40 to buy makes no sense to me. You know, when you've got bonds and you've got CDs, you're making 1 or 2% max. You're talking about making 50 to 100%, and you're worried about the market backing up $40. If you are, you don't need to be in this business. You don't need to be in the business of buying precious metals. You need to buy when there's a lot of room left for it to go up. And that's what you have right now. So we talked about diversification. Stocks. More questions about stocks. Let me make it pretty simple. Stocks do have a chance to come back if they have a miracle pill that solves the corona virus, but it's not going to, stocks going to go back up, but the economy is going to still take 3 or 4 years to get where it was when January of this year started. So what will happen is you'll get a runaway stock, and then people are coming up there, and that's right before it comes straight down. But watch the corporate tax. If Trump stays in there, 18% corporate rate's good. If Biden goes in, it's going to be a lot higher, and the stock market's going to really go down, down, down. So just be ready and watch the election very closely on stocks, and watch the corporate rates, the personal rates, the long-term capital gains rates, and see what the change is from Trump to Biden. You need to be looking at that right now. You need to be asking those questions and trying to find out what you can, because it is very, very important. The next thing I've been asked about is the ratio between gold and silver. Just 4 months ago, 130 to 1. Gold was 130 times more valuable than silver. This morning, July 29, 2020, it's 80 to 1. It's gone from 130 to 1 to 80 to 1, and it's headed to 50 to 1. And when silver gets to 50, gold at 2,500, divided in there. So gold keeps going up 50%, but silver basically doubles from here. So you want to be buying silver on any pullbacks, and certainly what we're going to have in inflation due to all the stimulus spending that you're going to see today and tomorrow, and you're going to see stimulus spending going up another $1 to $3 trillion. And we'll get to the final deficit thing in a minute. So yes, you want to be a ratio player, but remember, long term, gold is where it's going to be. Silver may go to 60, 80, 100 or more. I'm not going to say, except I'm very comfortable telling you spot silver right now, 24.50 is about half of where it's going to be in the not too distant future. Whether that's 6 months, 3 months, a year and a half, I don't know, but it won't be long. And it'll hit a new all-time high. Then is when you really got to tune in, because we'll be talking about resets backed by gold around the world, because nobody wants fiat currency. Money by decree is worth, in my consulting business, you won't believe families that are calling and they just don't get it. I mean, what do you have as an inherent value if it goes down? You have nothing. If you don't have a real asset in your hand, gold, silver, art, rarities, whatever you want to collect, if you don't have that, you have nothing but a bookkeeping entry. How can you stand out there with your net worth and have nothing but paper and nothing else to show for it? If the power grid goes down, the banking system collapses, you're going to have nothing. You say, I got $5 million in the bank. No, you don't. You have nothing but a piece of paper. You have an IOU from the bank saying it's their money and you're a preferred lender. That's it. You have no recourse against them. We've been through this 100 times. We've gotten more money in from people moving their money out of corporate accounts, churches, missionaries, getting their money out of banks, because they hear all over the world and hear through their prayer time that this is going to happen. If I could sit and tell you of all the churches, pastors, and missionaries I've talked to in the last 3 months, you would not believe it. And for some of them to share with me what the Lord has put on their hearts at prayer time is unbelievable. But the debt is the biggest problem. We're in a runaway debt. You start looking at $27 trillion debt. At 2%, that's $540 billion a year just in interest. And as I said to you last time, we've seen the debt. This 1.7 trillion is the biggest deficit the United States has ever had. And with August and September left to finish out the fiscal year, we're already at $4 trillion. We're probably going to be at $5.5 to $6.5 trillion debt for 1 year by the time we finish this fiscal year on the 30th. I've told you to go to usdebtclock.org. I beg you to go to usdebtclock.org and just spend about 30 minutes to see what condition we're in. You've got to be in real assets. You've got to see that. And the grand finale, without question, is the dollar. The dollar is in a no respect worldwide free fall from 123 to below 90, headed to 72 in my opinion. And we know that every time the dollar goes down 1%, gold goes up to 4 to 6%, and that's exactly what's going on right now. If it goes down another 16 points that I'm saying, you're looking at gold going up double from where it is now, at least 3,800. So please, please get out of these dollar-denominated investments, especially bonds. Just be real careful on stocks. You can cut back some. You may want to come back in if there is a magic pill to cure the coronavirus. But right now, the dollar is in a free fall. It's in a no respect in the world. The Chinese and Japanese can end it any day they want. They have over $5 trillion of our debt. And any day they want to cash it in, the game of fiat currency is over. As I've mentioned many times, the US dollar is the only currency in the history of civilization, going back 6,000 years of recorded history, that is still standing, that went off of the gold standard. God's money will prevail. God's money will prevail. That's what he used for commerce and all the Federal Reserve Act and everything else that's fiat is out there. But it's come time to pay the piper. And if you live another 3 to 10 years, you will see a collapse in the currency and a new reset. What that reset looks like, I don't know. I get a lot of articles sent to me. We're getting one now about the new U.S. currency, about a reset on the student debt that's over $500 billion now. It's like 1/7 of the GDP. I mean, all the numbers are getting crazy out there. So just sit and hold God's money in your hand, because it can't be printed. It can't be created out there. It's real. It's tangible. It's acceptable anywhere in the world. And that's the way it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And like all these families and companies and corporations that are using me as a consultant to talk through these things and what they want their world to look like. This is the biggest rate of distribution of wealth that started 3 months ago that will ever be in the history of civilization. And you've got to be in the right corner. We talk about every week, if you've got money and you want to put in your IRA, call us at 800-247-2812. We'll show you how to set up a self-directed precious metal IRA. We can be your agent, and we can't be your custodian, but we'll help you find a good custodian. We know several we deal with. And as I said, if you're a baby boomer rolling out of a 401k, take part of it, put in a self-directed precious metals IRA, and another one in a self-directed stock, bond, and cash IRA. Then you got two of them, the best of both worlds. And we'll be happy to walk you through. But you need to do that because it takes a few days, a couple of weeks to get everything ready for that. So we strongly urge you to get into that and give Dan or I a call, or Jade or Catherine. Anyone in the office will be happy to help you with the, with your questions, and we go over that. So hopefully I got everything answered. Everything this week was about up-to-date stuff, and certainly, have I been right on platinum or what? I mean, this thing's up 40% now in 3 months. So just keep buying platinum with your gold and your silver. So with this bi-weekly precious metals market update, this is Tom Cloud signing out.